When people think about Erkenci, one of the first things that comes to mind is the unforgettable chemistry between Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Their performances helped transform the series into an international success, attracting millions of viewers far beyond Turkey. Even years after the final episode aired, fans continue to revisit their favorite scenes, watch old interviews, and search for behind-the-scenes stories that reveal what filming the beloved series was really like. While audiences enjoyed the romance, humor, and emotional moments on screen, life behind the cameras was very different. Producing a television series is rarely as effortless as it appears. Every episode required months of planning, long shooting days, unexpected delays, and the dedication of dozens of people working together to bring every scene to life. For the cast and crew of Erkenci, demanding schedules became part of everyday life. Some filming days started before sunrise and continued well after midnight. Outdoor scenes depended on changing weather conditions, while indoor sequences often required multiple takes to capture every detail perfectly. Between rehearsals, costume changes, lighting adjustments, and technical preparations, even a single scene could take hours before the director was satisfied. Despite the pressure, the atmosphere on set was often described as energetic and collaborative. Can Yaman had earned a reputation for approaching physically demanding scenes with determination, while Demet Özdemir was widely admired for her professionalism and ability to stay focused during long filming sessions. Crew members worked tirelessly behind the cameras, making sure every shot reflected the high production quality that audiences had come to expect. But one particular night stood out from many others. It wasn't because of a major controversy or an unexpected confrontation. In fact, the reason people still remember that evening is surprisingly simple. Sometimes the smallest moments become the ones that leave the biggest impression, especially when everyone involved is working under extraordinary pressure. According to stories shared by people connected to the production, the team had already been filming for several hours that evening. Important scenes still needed to be completed before the location became unavailable, leaving very little room for delays. Everyone understood that staying on schedule was essential. As preparations continued, every department remained fully occupied. The camera crew carefully checked each angle, lighting technicians adjusted equipment to match the changing conditions outside. The makeup team rushed in between takes to maintain continuity. Assistant directors coordinated the schedule minute by minute, hoping everything would move smoothly. At first, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Then, an unexpected technical issue temporarily brought filming to a halt. Situations like this are not unusual in television production. Cameras sometimes require recalibration, sound equipment needs adjustments, or lighting setups take longer than expected. Even a minor interruption can affect an entire shooting schedule, especially when multiple scenes are planned for the same evening. Naturally, everyone paused while the crew worked to resolve the problem. Instead of allowing frustration to build, something interesting happened. The atmosphere gradually became more relaxed. People who had been concentrating intensely for hours finally had a chance to step away from their positions. Conversations began to replace silence. Crew members exchanged jokes about previous filming days, while others shared funny memories from earlier episodes. For a brief moment, the pressure of production seemed to disappear. Someone then suggested bringing coffee for everyone waiting nearby. It sounded like an ordinary idea. After all, coffee is almost a tradition on busy television sets. No one expected that this simple gesture would later become one of the most memorable moments associated with the production. Fresh cups of coffee quickly made their way across the set. Cast members, directors, camera operators, assistants, and technicians all gathered for a short break while the equipment was being prepared. There were no cameras recording the moment, no scripted dialogue, and no audience watching from the outside. It was simply a group of professionals sharing a few quiet minutes together after an exhausting day. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir also joined the informal conversation, speaking naturally with colleagues and crew members rather than disappearing into separate areas. According to people familiar with the production, these kinds of moments helped strengthen the positive working environment that many team members later remembered fondly. The brief coffee break did something unexpected. It seemed to lift everyone's spirits, the stress that had slowly built throughout. The evening gave way to laughter, casual conversations, and renewed motivation. Sometimes, a production doesn't need a dramatic speech or a major breakthrough to regain momentum. Sometimes, all it takes is a few minutes to breathe, reset, and remember that everyone is working toward the same goal. Soon, the technical issue was finally resolved. Crew members returned to their stations. The cameras were ready, the lights were switched back on, everyone prepared to continue filming. But as the director called everyone back into position, no one could have predicted that the most challenging part of the night was still ahead. What happened after filming resumed would test the entire team's professionalism and become one of the stories fans would continue discussing for years to come. As filming resumed, the entire set quickly returned to its familiar rhythm. The brief coffee break had given everyone a chance to recharge, and the energy was noticeably different. Crew members moved confidently back into position, cameras rolled into place, and the lighting team made the final adjustments before the director called for silence. What had started as a frustrating delay now seemed like nothing more than a small interruption. The next sequence, scheduled for that evening, was particularly important. It featured one of the emotional interactions between the lead characters, a scene that required subtle performances rather than dramatic action. While audiences would eventually watch only a few minutes of carefully edited footage, capturing those moments demanded patience, concentration, and multiple takes. Everyone understood the importance of getting it right. The director gathered the actors for a final discussion, reviewing the emotional tone of the scene and explaining a few small adjustments that would help the sequence flow more naturally. These last-minute conversations are common during television productions, especially when directors want to refine performances without changing the heart of the story. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir listened carefully before stepping into position. Although both actors had already spent countless hours portraying their characters throughout the series, they continued approaching every scene with the same level of focus. That consistency became one of the reasons many viewers believed the emotional connection between their characters felt so genuine. The cameras began rolling. The first take looked promising. Then a minor continuity issue required another attempt. The second take progressed even further before another small adjustment became necessary. Nobody appeared frustrated. In television production, repeating scenes is simply part of the creative process. Sometimes an actor wants to improve a line delivery. Other times a camera movement needs refinement or a background detail unexpectedly changes. Rather than rushing forward, experienced productions understand that small improvements often make a significant difference in the final result. As the evening continued, everyone remained committed to achieving the best possible performance. Between takes, the atmosphere stayed remarkably relaxed. Crew members quietly prepared equipment while makeup artists performed quick touch-ups. The assistant director kept track of timing, ensuring the production stayed as close to schedule as possible. Despite the long hours, teamwork remained the defining characteristic of the night. Observers who have spoken about the production over the years often describe this collaborative environment as one of the reasons Erkenci maintained such consistent quality throughout its run. Success rarely depends on just the actors standing in front of the camera. Behind every memorable scene are dozens of professionals working together toward the same goal. As preparations continued, something unexpected happened once again. Light-hearted conversation between members of the cast and crew gradually spread across the set. Someone recalled a funny mistake from an earlier filming day that had left everyone laughing for several minutes. Another crew member added a story about a scene that looked perfect on camera but required countless attempts before everything finally came together. Soon, laughter could be heard throughout the location. Moments like these often go unnoticed by audiences, yet they play an important role during demanding productions. Long working hours can be physically and mentally exhausting. Maintaining a positive atmosphere helps everyone stay motivated, especially when filming stretches late into the evening. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir reportedly joined the conversation as well, sharing smiles with colleagues before quickly returning to the serious focus required for the next scene. That balance between professionalism and genuine camaraderie is something many productions strive to achieve. Not every television set manages to create that kind of environment. Years have passed since Erkenci first captured the hearts of viewers, yet the series continues to attract new audiences from around the world. Streaming platforms, television reruns, and countless fan pages have kept the story alive, introducing Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir to millions of people who may not have watched the show during its original broadcast. That kind of lasting popularity is rare. Many successful television series enjoy strong ratings while they are on the air, only to slowly fade from public attention after the final episode. Erkenci followed a different path. Instead of disappearing, its international fan base continued to grow, fueled by memorable performances, emotional storytelling, and the undeniable chemistry between its leading stars. As interest in the series expanded, so did curiosity about what happened behind the scenes. Fans began searching for interviews, production photos, and backstage videos, hoping to learn more about the environment that helped create one of Turkey's most beloved romantic dramas. Every new interview with a cast member, every behind-the-scenes photograph, and every production anecdote quickly spread across social media, generating discussions among viewers from dozens of different countries. One question seemed to appear again and again. What was it really like working on the set of Erkenci? Although every production has its own unique atmosphere, people connected with the series have often described the experience as demanding, but deeply rewarding. Long filming schedules required patience from everyone involved, yet the shared commitment to delivering the best possible result helped create an environment built on professionalism and teamwork. Looking back, it's easy to understand why so many memories from the production remain meaningful. The famous coffee break from that unforgettable evening wasn't remembered because it was dramatic. It was remembered because it represented something much bigger. It reminded everyone that even during the busiest production days, small moments of kindness and connection could completely change the mood of an entire team. In an industry known for tight deadlines and constant pressure, those moments matter. Television audiences usually see only the finished product. They don't see the early morning call times. They don't see departments working simultaneously to prepare every location. They don't see costume designers making last-minute adjustments, camera operators carrying heavy equipment between locations, or assistant directors coordinating dozens of moving parts throughout the day. Yet all of those people contribute to every single scene. That reality makes productions like Erkenci even more impressive. The chemistry audiences admired on screen was supported by an entire team working behind the cameras, each person playing a role in bringing the story to life. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir naturally became the faces of the series, but the success of the show reflected the combined efforts of writers, directors, editors, lighting specialists, makeup artists, production assistants, and countless others whose work often goes unnoticed. As interviews and behind-the-scenes stories continued to emerge over the years, one theme appeared consistently: respect. Many people who worked on the series have spoken about the importance of maintaining a professional atmosphere even during the most demanding filming days. Challenges were inevitable, but solving problems together became part of the production's identity. Perhaps that's one reason why so many scenes still feel authentic today. Viewers often describe the performances as natural and emotionally believable. While strong scripts certainly played an important role, genuine collaboration behind the scenes also helped create that sense of realism audiences connected with. The unforgettable evening that began with technical difficulties and a simple coffee break eventually became one of those stories fans loved hearing about, not because it revealed hidden drama, but because it highlighted the human side of television production. Sometimes the most meaningful memories aren't the biggest headlines. They're the quiet conversations, the shared laughter after a stressful moment, the encouragement exchanged between colleagues before another take begins, the collective relief when a difficult scene is finally completed successfully. Those experiences rarely make it into entertainment news, yet they often leave the strongest impression on the people who lived them. For fans, stories like these offer a rare glimpse beyond the finished episodes. They remind viewers that every smile, every emotional conversation, and every unforgettable scene required hours of preparation and the dedication of an entire creative team. Perhaps that's why Erkenci Kuş continues to resonate with audiences years after its conclusion. The series wasn't remembered solely because of its romantic storyline. It was remembered because the passion invested behind the cameras found its way onto the screen. And in many ways, that famous night perfectly captured the spirit of the production itself. A night that began with uncertainty, paused unexpectedly, found renewed energy through one simple act of kindness, and ultimately became another chapter in the story of a television series that continues to inspire fans around the world. But there's one final reason this particular story still stands out today. And it says something meaningful not only about the production itself, but also about why viewers continue returning to Erkenci Kuş years later. Looking back today, it's easy to understand why stories like this continue to resonate with fans around the world. The memorable evening on the Erkenci Kuş set was never about a shocking revelation or an unexpected controversy. Instead, it became a reminder that some of the most meaningful moments happen when the cameras aren't recording. While audiences remember perfectly written dialogue and beautifully filmed scenes, the people behind the production often remember something much simpler: the teamwork, the patience, and the friendships built during countless hours of filming. In many ways, that is the hidden side of television that viewers rarely get to experience. Every successful production is the result of hundreds of small moments coming together. A carefully adjusted camera angle, a costume fixed seconds before filming begins, a director offering one final piece of guidance, crew members solving unexpected problems without interrupting the creative flow. None of these moments usually appear on screen, yet every one of them contributes to what audiences eventually watch. The story of that coffee break reflects exactly that reality. It wasn't planned, it wasn't written into a script, it wasn't created for publicity. It simply happened during an ordinary filming night when everyone needed a brief moment to step away from the pressure and recharge before continuing. Sometimes those unscripted moments become the memories people treasure the most. Over the years, Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir have each continued building successful careers, taking on new projects and reaching even larger international audiences. Their professional journeys have evolved in different directions, but Erkenci Kuş remains one of the defining chapters in both of their careers. For countless viewers, the series represented much more than entertainment. It introduced Turkish television to new audiences across Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, and many other regions. Fans discovered not only memorable characters, but also a storytelling style that blended romance, comedy, emotion, and beautiful cinematography in a way that felt fresh and authentic. Even today, social media continues to prove how strong that connection remains. Clips from the series regularly resurface online. Favorite scenes are shared thousands of times. New viewers discover the show every year. Longtime fans revisit unforgettable episodes, noticing small details they may have missed the first time. That lasting popularity speaks volumes. Television trends come and go, but only a handful of productions manage to create memories that continue to bring people together years after their original broadcast. Perhaps the greatest achievement of Erkenci Kuş wasn't simply its ratings or international success. Perhaps it was the emotional connection it created with millions of people. And behind every emotional scene was a dedicated team working tirelessly to make each episode feel genuine. The famous coffee break has gradually become a symbol of that dedication. Not because coffee solved every challenge, but because it represented something universal. No matter where people work or what industry they're part of, everyone understands the value of taking a moment to breathe, support one another, and continue moving forward together. Sometimes the strongest teams aren't defined by the absence of challenges. They're defined by the way they respond when challenges appear. That philosophy seemed to guide the Erkenci Kuş production from beginning to end, instead of allowing unexpected setbacks to become obstacles. The cast and crew adapted, supported one another, and kept working toward a shared goal. Years later, that's the lesson many fans continue to appreciate. Behind every unforgettable television moment are real people investing their time, creativity, and passion into something they hope audiences will enjoy. And judging by the worldwide success of Erkenci Kuş, that effort was certainly worthwhile. As fans continue celebrating the series, stories from behind the scenes serve as gentle reminders that the magic of television isn't created by actors alone. It's created by everyone standing both in front of and behind the camera. It's created through collaboration, through professionalism, through resilience, and sometimes through something as simple as sharing a cup of coffee during a long night on set.